More laws, less justice, and
what the heck is going on at Tim Hortons these days?
Viva Frei Montreal litigator turned YouTuber, and it was Marcus Tilius Cicero who once wisely said, the more laws, the less justice, and if you never understood what that expression means, by the end of this vlog, you will. Now, Tim Hortons has recently gone viral in Canadian news, not once but twice, and all for the wrong reasons. For anyone who doesn't know what or who Tim Hortons is a Canadian coffee shop chain, much like Dunkin' Donuts, named after the hockey player Tim Horton, who incidentally died in a drunk driving accident. They have recently gone viral because of two incidents related to the My Sharona Cyrus, and my goodness, it's been a while since we've used that term on this channel, hasn't it? Regardless, they went viral because of one story where a guy was actually given a ticket for drinking coffee in his car in the parking lot of a Tim Hortons after refusing to leave after being instructed to do so by a police officer. That story was initially reported by Rebel Media and is being followed up by Rebel Media, who is apparently trying to fight the fine that the individual got for drinking the coffee in their car and refusing to leave when being so instructed by the police officer. I did a vlog breaking down that situation and going through the legislation in virtue of which that individual was given the ticket. If you haven't seen that vlog, I'm going to link it right here. Give it a watch if you have a few minutes. Tim Hortons has yet again gone viral, this time a couple of days ago, because of a video posted on Facebook that itself went viral of an individual in Tim Hortons ordering coffee but not wearing a face mask under Montreal's new mandatory face mask requirements. Apparently, and I say apparently because we do not know all of the details, but apparently the individual was asked to wear a face mask by the Tim Hortons employee. The individual refused for whatever the reason. Police were called, police intervened, police ended up pepper spraying the guy in the face at point blank range and arresting him. That is the country in which we are currently living. The video itself is a little over 4.5 minutes long. We're not going to go through the entire video right now. It was published to Facebook but subsequently taken down, but as we say, once something goes up on the internet, it is there forever. Now, everyone in the video is speaking French, so I'll translate the most relevant parts so you understand what is going on, but as shocking as the video is, more important than the video is the legislation in virtue of which all of this transpired. We're going to go through that as well, so at the very least, this vlog will also be a public service announcement for the current masking regulations in Montreal, but first, let's watch the video. So we do not know what transpired before the recording started, but right here we hear the guy saying, "Bélan, faites vos affaires, moi je vais faire la mienne," which means do your thing, I'm going to do mine. I can't really understand what the cop is saying, but what the individual is saying, "J'ai le droit de commander sans masque," which means I have the right to order without a face mask. Now the cop says something about leaving. He says sortir. The guy says no, I have the right to order without a mask. And this is when the poo-poo hits the fan.
Vous trouvez pas ça exagéré? C'est pas exagéré, votre affaire? Pour une histoire de masque?
Two cops physically manhandling this individual, trying to physically remove him from the Tim Hortons because he refuses to comply. When they see that he's a little stronger than they might have thought, the cop pulls back, pulls out the pepper spray, and pepper sprays him in the face at point blank range. Then you hear the woman recording, who apparently is the individual's girlfriend, saying, "Vous trouvez pas ça un peu exagéré? You don't find this a little bit excessive or exaggerated, what you're doing here? Pour une histoire de masque, for a simple mask, at the very least, if you get nothing else out of this video, you're gonna get something of a French 101 lesson." Then you see the cop who just pepper sprayed this guy in the face, getting him in a chokehold and taking him to the ground. And if it looks like I'm smiling, I'm sorry. I don't find anything about this funny. This is outrageous.
Pour un masque, là! Hein? Pour un masque! OK? Pour un masque, là! Réveillez-vous, les gens! Dans où est-ce qu'on s'en va? Pour un calice de masque!
And then you have the girlfriend again saying for a mask, but she goes on to say, réveillez-vous les gens, regardez où est-ce qu'on s'en va pour un masque. Wake up people, look where we are going for a mask. And that is pretty much the most material part of the video, save and except for one thing which happens at the end. This.
Pour un tabarnak de masque. 3 sur 1.
Three cops on this one guy, and look at the third cop, he's not wearing a mask. Now the comments on the video are themselves somewhat divided. You have a bunch of people saying this is absolutely excessive force, it's absolutely counterproductive, it's absolutely outrageous that someone should get pepper sprayed in the face for not wearing a mask in the context of COVID, because that's just gonna make him and everyone in that establishment cough even more. And if it turns out that that individual happens to have a medical condition for which he is not wearing a mask, well, maybe pepper spraying him in the face is not the best thing to do, but we're gonna get back to this by the end of the vlog. But while you have some people outraged by the situation, saying this is a police state, excessive force, totally unreasonable, etc., etc., you have the people on the other side who are saying all he has to do is follow the rules and this won't happen. Don't resist the lawful instructions of a police officer and this won't happen. Follow the rules, do what you're told, and this won't happen. And I guess that both sides are right to some extent. Which actually reminds me of a funny fable. Two villagers are having a dispute, so they go to see the town elder with a witness. One person says, "This is my position." The elder says, "Oh, you're right." The other person says, "No, this is my position." The town elder says, "You're right." The witness says, "Well, they can't both be right." The town elder says, "You're right." And for those who say all he had to do was follow the law and this wouldn't happen, let's go see what the law says, shall we? Décret 810-2020, 15 juillet 2020. Concernant l'ordonnance de mesures visant à protéger la santé de la population dans la situation de pandémie de la COVID-19. Translation, this is a decree intended to protect public health in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. Then we have the standard preamble to the effect that the My Coronavirus is creating a public risk and that these temporary measures are necessary to protect the general public in the context of the My Coronavirus Schmendrick. And then we reference all of the prior temporary orders which were subsequently renewed by decree for a full paragraph and a half. Then we get to the final preamble, which is the meat of the decree. Attendu qu'il y ait lieu d'ordonner certaines mesures pour protéger la santé de la population. Whereas it is appropriate to order certain measures to protect the health of the general population. Then we get into the defined terms, the most relevant of which are the following. Couvre-visage, un masque ou un tissu bien ajusté qui couvre le nez et la bouche. Face covering, a mask or a cloth well adjusted to cover your mouth and nose. Lieu qui accueille le public, la partie accessible au public des lieux suivants dans la mesure où elle est fermée ou partiellement couverte et qu'il ne s'agit pas d'une unité d'hébergement. A place that is open to or hosts the general public. And then it refers to the accessible parts of public places to the extent that they are either closed or partially covered and to the extent that they are not residences. And then we go through what I suspect is a non-exhaustive list, and we go through things like retail stores, restaurants and bars, religious places, and the list goes on and on and on. And then we get into the most important part of the regulation. Qu'il soit interdit à l'exploitant d'un lieu qui accueille le public d'y admettre une personne qui ne porte pas un couvre-visage ou de tolérer qu'une personne qui ne porte pas un couvre-visage s'y trouve à moins. Now, what does that mean in English? It means that the person who operates an enterprise that is open to the general public cannot allow a person in who is not wearing a face mask and cannot tolerate the presence of someone in the store who is not wearing a face mask unless they meet certain exceptions as provided in the law. And what are those exceptions? Let's just go through the most important ones. Qu'elle soit âgée de moins de 12 ans. That the person is under 12 years of age. If you are under 12 years old, you do not need to wear a face mask. Although apparently the authorities are urging anyone over 2 years old to wear a face mask, but they are not required by law, they are exempt. Qu'elle déclare que sa condition médicale l'en empêche. That the person declares that they have a medical condition that prevents them from wearing a face mask. Number 3 provides that if the person is receiving a treatment or doing something that requires them to remove their face mask, they are authorized to remove it for the duration of that treatment or activity. Number 4 says they can remove their face mask for the purposes of identification. I'm going to include a link to a government website with the English version of all of this in the pinned comment below, but let's just skip to item 8 because that is the most important for the purposes of this vlog. Qu'elle consomme de la nourriture ou une boisson dans un restaurant, dans une aire de restauration d'un centre commercial ou d'un commerce d'alimentation, dans un bar ou dans toute autre salle utilisée à des fins de restauration ou de consommation de boissons. Les boissons, les boissons, how I love les boissons. Okay, that's a Little Mermaid joke. And what does this exception provide for? That if you are eating or drinking in a restaurant, in a place designed for where you're supposed to eat, like a food court of a building, in a bar, or in a room destined for eating or drinking, you do not have to wear your face mask while eating or drinking. Does this mean that you literally have to wear your face mask when ordering, but you can literally take your face mask off the second you get your order in order to consume your order, and that if you don't, you are breaking the law, which can lead to an officer pepper spraying you in the face and arresting you? I don't know. I never give legal advice in my vlogs. Nothing in these videos videos constitutes legal advice. All that I'm suggesting is that there might be something of an ambiguity in this particular exception. But as any good government knows, laws are useless without penalties. So let's go see what the penalties are. Que quiconque commet une infraction en application de l'article 139 de la loi sur la santé publique, chapitre S 2.2, parce qu'elle contrevient aux règles prévues par la présente décret, soit passible d'une amende de $400 à $6,000. And this provision basically says that anybody who violates this regulation is also contravening the enabling law in virtue of which this regulation was enacted, and they are susceptible of penalties of $400 to $6,000. And to make matters even more confusing, from what I understand, the establishment is not allowed asking for evidence of someone's medical condition if they claim they are exempt from wearing a face mask because of a medical condition. So now let's bring this all back to the guy in the Tim Hortons and Marcus Tullius Cicero, more laws, less justice. Here you have an individual who is ordering something in a Tim Hortons, a place where you're supposed to order stuff for the purposes of eating or drinking, not wearing a face mask. Is he not wearing the face mask because he has a medical condition, because he thinks he doesn't have to, or because he's making a point? We don't know. I think most people think he was trying to make a point. Some people have rightly pointed out that apparently Tim Hortons have removed all of their seating from within so that people don't sit down and eat or drink anymore. They order, they get their stuff, and they leave. Whether or not that makes them not a place where people are destined to eat or drink under the law, I'm not sure. That is the problem with ambiguous laws, is it leads to confusion and problems. To the extent that someone is exempt from wearing a face mask when eating or drinking in an establishment where they are intended to eat or drink, are they also exempt from wearing a face mask when ordering that very food in that very establishment where they are exempt from wearing a face mask when eating or drinking that food or drink? A funny story, my wife went grocery shopping the other day and somebody was walking into the grocery store without a face mask, and the clerk told them that they had to wear a face mask, and they said, whoa, ho, I'm drinking a coffee, drank their coffee, and just walked into the store without a face mask. The ultimate point is that when you have ambiguously drafted laws, it becomes difficult even for law enforcement to enforce those laws. And I just can't get past the ultimate irony of this entire situation. Take for granted for just one moment that this guy actually had a medical condition for which he was not wearing a mask, but he might have been too embarrassed to say so. I read a ton of comments in the comment section, a lot of tweets on Twitter. There are a lot of people who say that they have suffered trauma in their life and that there is no way they're going to put something over their mouth, and they don't necessarily want to disclose to the person asking that they have suffered trauma in their life that makes them not willing to put something over their mouth. And whether or not this individual had a medical condition or any good reason whatsoever for not wearing the mask, are we making the situation better or worse by pepper spraying this person in the face in a closed area with other people present? I don't think you need to be a doctor to know the answer to that question. Anyhow, I see that my camera is about to overheat and shut down. So with that said, if you like my videos and you like my content, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop a comment in the comment section below because it feeds the algorithm. If you want to support the channel, all of these support links are in the pinned comment. We've got Subscribestar, Patreon, YouTube memberships, all sorts of things. Merch. We've got merch, Vlawg dog shirts, and all the other stuff. But more importantly than that, take care of yourselves, check in on friends and family, make sure everyone around you is doing well, stay safe, stay sane, give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and just let's calm things down just a notch, just a notch. And now you know your vlog. Peace out. Booyah.